Hey, it's December 4th, 2018. This is Andrew in Omaha, Nebraska, and I finished putting together the Cobra Class 14 leather splitter from the Leather Machine Company out of Ontario, California. And I've done some test splits on it, and I'm quite pleased with the results. The machine has a 14-inch blade, cutting blade, but the widest piece you can fit through here is 13 inches. But I've done several splits on the machine. The widest that it can handle. This is a piece of harness leather that I've cut down. Here's a piece of Herman Oak veg tan that I've cut down. As you can see, these pieces are the full width of the cutting surface of this machine can handle, and it cut all these down just fine. And finally, this is a piece of oil tan leather that I ran through there, and it cuts oil tan leather down just like vegetable tan leather. It works great on both. So I have put together some footage of me assembling the machine and kind of walking around it, and I'm going to attempt to do my voiceover, or use the voiceover feature rather, on my movie maker on my MacBook. So we'll see how that goes. So enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. This is Andrew in Omaha, Nebraska. Have a nice day. We're going to be starting at the back of the machine. You can see the cast iron frame, and walking around to the rollers and the rolling block. The top handle there adjusts the thickness of the split. The hand wheel. Now the lever here, when you move it all the way to the left, it opens the rollers up as wide as they can go, and then when you move it back over to the right, it closes them. So on the right hand side right now, I just set it to its thinnest possible split that the machine could do. And under here there is the forward and reverse switch, as well as the DC servo motor and speed reducer, same as on all the other Cobra products. The pedestal is on a large piece of plate steel, just like the Class 3. The casters there will lock when you have the wheel lock depressed, and then when you flip it back up, they'll spin around again. But I think the plate steel used on the pedestals for both these machines is pretty much the same. It's very heavy. This whole machine, the splitter, probably weighs close to 300 pounds. So you definitely need the table and the casters to roll this thing around. When I say that this thing weighs 300 pounds, I'm saying total, the pedestal, machine, everything. Now here the machine is still strapped to the pallet that it was delivered on. It has these nylon straps that strap it to the pallet. There's also 4 screws on each corner that bolt the machine down, and it's shrink wrapped. The machine itself is inside a large cardboard box on the opposite side of the pallet. There it is. And it has 2 large pieces of block foam encasing it in this box. It keeps it really secure and safe for shipping. Now, if you order a machine from the Leather Machine Company and it's delivered, you want to hang on to this cardboard box and the block foam in case for some reason you need to send it back to the Leather Machine Company for service. You'll have the box to be able to box it up and ship it back. Inside these foam blocks, near the base of the pedestal, you're going to find the wheels to the machine. There's 4 swivel casters there, and they just screw into these pre-drilled holes that you'll see here in a minute. There's the mounting screws that bolt the machine to the pallet. And here are the holes for the casters. Now the holes themselves are threaded, so you'll just take the caster and spin it on like I'm doing here. And from my experience with my other two machines, you just need to spin these things on just snugly. They don't need to be on super tight or anything. And then there's going to be a bolt that I'm going to put on the top here in a minute. Now the nice thing about these casters is when you flip the the switch down to lock the wheel like I just did there, it locks the entire caster and it can't move from side to side. It keeps the machine steady in that position, and then when you flip them up like I'm doing here, then they're free to move back and forth as well as let the wheel roll again. And now you're going to be able to see that the pedestal is complete, ready for the machine, and there are the pre-drilled holes for the belt and the mounting brackets for the bottom of the splitter. Inside, there's the foam blocks. The top one kind of stuck to the box there as I pulled it open. Now when you open these machines, they're extremely heavy, and I open them by cutting the tape and taking out the staples in the bottom, and then pulling the box up like I just did. The hand wheel, the belts, and the hardware are located. The belt and the hardware are located on the lid there, and then the hand wheel is just in front of the splitter there in the foam. Now, make sure you have a really good grip when you go to pick this thing up, because I'm not kidding when I say that it's heavy. And now there's just going to be 4 bolts with an Allen head at the top that hold the machine to the pedestal. There's also a screw on the end of the drive shaft that needs to come out in order to put the hand wheel on. You'll see that here shortly. The bolts that hold the machine to the pedestal just need to be snug. I'm just snugging them down. It comes with an Allen key in the kit, and then I'm just using a ratchet to snug down the bottom bolt to the bottom of the pedestal there. There's the screw I was talking about that holds the hand wheel on. That needs to be removed. There's also the gear assembly for that drives the rollers, which will run the leather past the blade located on the back of the machine. Yeah, this feels like it's definitely the smaller Allen key here that works on this. The first one didn't feel like it was grabbing anything. This one is dropping right down into the head of the screw. Now that the hand wheel is on the drive shaft, in order to put the belt on, it's just like the Class 3 that I put together. You loop the belt around the bottom pulley first on the speed reducer, then put the top pulley on and snap it in place. The hand wheel is a little different since the V-belt is facing towards the inside versus the outside like on the Class 3. But the process to put it on is still the same. Now that the hand wheel is back on, I'm just putting the screw back on the center of the hub there to hold the whole thing in place. Now this bolt here is what connects the two rods for your foot pedal, and the leather machine company has it set to hold it in the far up position for transport so the pedal doesn't move back and forth while it's being shipped. You just loosen that up, it pops loose just like that, and now I'm just going to move the pedal to the opposite position and just tighten it back up. Alright, here's the cord here, and there's the back of the switch. There's no light on this. It doesn't need one. So I think that looks just like the switch for both the Cobra Class 20 and Class 3 there. On the back, there's this little cord here that runs up to the switch, and I assume that's to give the motor the signal to go in reverse or forwards. And here's the power cord, the other end of the power cord that plugs in back here. Alright, I got this thing powered up and plugged in for the first time. On-off switch. That's reverse. Forwards. Okay, now the machine is together. I'm going to run this test piece through. It's just a piece of scrap veg tan leather that's about 4 1/4 inch wide and about, I think it's about 6 to 7 ounce in weight. I guess this would be similar to something that might be possibly used as a gusset on a bag. I guess a gusset might be a little narrower than that, but I'm going to run it through the machine, and as you can see, there's the blade, the hologram blade on the back, and the machine runs this thing through like it's butter. And I'm really happy that I was able to get the motorized version of this. I was considering getting the hand cranked version, but the price I was able to get from this distributor made it actually cheaper to get it with the motorized version from him versus buying the head only from the leather machine company directly. Now here is a piece of harness leather. It's 13 inches wide, and I think this is about 6 ounces. And there it covers the entire cutting width of the machine, which is 13 inches. That's the widest that you can fit through the machine. And just like the last piece, it just glides through like butter. And there's the split on the back, 2 pieces there. And now this piece would be something that I could probably use to align a gun holster. The next piece is going to be a piece of Herman Oak vegetable tan leather. It's like 13 to 14 ounces thick. And this is a drum dried black piece. And this is way too thick for me to use for any type of project. But now I'm going to run it through the splitter here, this piece as well, just like the other piece. It covers the entire cutting width of the blade. And just like the last piece, it's going to glide through here just like butter. It's going to be a nice even split all the way through. And I'm going to run this piece through again, but now that piece of leather is the perfect weight for, say, a wallet. Now here's the final piece that I'm going to have to show you. This is a piece of oil tan leather. It's approximately 5 ounces. I've heard people say that these splitters can't do oil tan leather, but so far every piece of oil tan that I've run through the machine has run through just fine, as you're about to see. I'm going to change the adjustment here and knock it down to, I think, about 2 ounces. And this thing's going to look like a piece of paper coming out of a printer. It's going to cut like butter, just like the other pieces. I'm going to move the camera around so you can see what it looks like coming out the other side. And there's the end result. A very thin piece that could possibly be used to line a project. So this works just fine on vegetable tan leather and oil tan leather. So this is a great machine. I highly recommend it. It's going to work great for my situation in the small working space that I have in this garage. This is Andrew in Omaha, Nebraska. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.